Welcome to the very first episode of Naked Heart. In this episode, we are so pleased to have our very first guest here for this wonderful session. Now, guess who is the first guest for this episode? No other person than my own wife, Mrs. Pearl Abasam. Mrs. Pearl Abasam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so on this episode, we are just going to basically talk about how we started our own journey. And I just remembered we are almost 9 years.
Yeah, July.
Next 2 months, that is July 18th, will be 9 years in marriage. That's wonderful.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, so Mrs. Pearl Abasam.
Yes, darling.
What should I call you, babes? Okay,
I like
so
babes.
all right, babe. So we are just going to talk about our journey.
All right.
We've always said that we are two imperfect people trying to build a stronger, more lasting relationship. And we've had our own share of experiences before and during marriage. I mean, both the negative and both the positive. We would like to explore all of that. So we'll start our conversation basically by talking about our journey. We've known each other for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
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 And since I'm the host, I'm going to ask the questions, but we'll have a nice conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, 9 years in marriage. We dated for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we married. What was your experiences? I mean, we have to share all of them. The good, the bad, the ugly, if there is.
My experiences.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasant, exciting 9 years.
Okay.
I have seen us grow. I have seen us mature
Okay.
from two very immature couple, two very young, immature couple, learning the ropes and still learning the ropes.
Yeah.
We are nowhere near where we want to get to, but when we look back, we've come a long way, a really long way. Let's go back.
Okay.
You know, there are times when people say that you can't say the opposite sex is your best friend. To an extent, I kind of agree.
It's true.
To an extent, I kind of agree because some years back, those of us who knew us, I referred to him as my best friend, and he referred to me as his best friend.
And we're purely best friends. Yeah.
Oh, yes, at that time, typical best friends. I remember on campus, I have issues on campus and then relationship issues, and then he'll be the person I'll call.
Okay.
And I'll talk to him about it. He also encounters the same problem. He'll call me.
So at this point, are we, before we continue, are we saying people, when people who talk about their relations with their bestie and all of that, is it a way we are saying, it's going to build some kind of relationship or something?
Well, in our experience, I would say that when you start doing that, this is my best friend. You start being in today's lingua. You are sus. You are sus because it might end up becoming something totally different. Because in essence, marriage is basically friendship.
Yeah.
To have a very solid marriage foundation, the two people who are involved must become best of friends.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you think about it critically, your best friend is the one you share your innermost thoughts with, your fears, your aspirations, your dream.
Yeah.
Then who's the best person to share that with than your spouse?
Yeah.
So if we are saying that is the foundation of a marriage, then indeed, best friends who happen to be of the opposite sex have, should I say, have a good shot at becoming a very strong team in marriage.
So with this, are we saying, or are we encouraging our best friends to marry?
You can give it
especially with those who are about to marry. Are we encouraging our best friends to marry?
They can give it a shot.
Okay.
They can give it a shot. For me, I would 100% endorse when you sort of come across somebody you have an interest in. I would prescribe that before you start exploring romantic stuff, seek to build a very strong friendship, a solid foundation of friendship.
Okay.
Because in times when things get hot in the marriage seat, in times when things get very tense at home, you can always rely on the friendship that you have.
Yeah.
You can always, that is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, you can always go back to, lean on your friendship. So, yes, try to create best friends, and then we'll see where that leads to.
Okay, that's that's an experience I think we both share. It's a bit awkward, you know. You are telling experiences we both as
Share,
husband and wife share, so it gets the questions. I mean, all the questions I'm going to ask you, it gets it a bit awkward, but we still have this conversation now. So, let me share my own experiences as well from my point of view. I think before we married, when we were courting, I think there was a time I remember vividly, and I've said this on a lot of platforms, that you came home. I remember usually when you come, I come to sit in your car, and we have some conversations and all of that. Now, I remember there was a time, I think something preceded that. We may either have had some kind of disagreement or something. So I remember asking you that, okay, or telling you that, okay, so why don't you concentrate on yourself? Build on yourself. Why don't I build on myself rather than looking at your weaknesses every time maybe you do something and, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. Yes, it's okay to be open. You have to let the other person know what you don't like and what you like. However, if it becomes too much, if we are always zooming into the other person's weaknesses, the relationship becomes a bit stale. So I remember having that conversation that, see, I'm concentrating on myself. I want to build myself for you. Concentrate on yourself. I wouldn't concentrate so much on your weaknesses. Don't concentrate on my weakness. Let us build each other. And I think from that time, that was a good turning point in our relationship. So I think we discussed friendship. And I think it is one thing that has personally, helped us. So what advice the advice we are giving prospective wives or young single adult people who are preparing to marry is to build a strong friendship. And when we say, sometimes there is this bestie, that's why I asked that question. I mean, people talk about bestie, especially nowadays with this Gen Z generation. We have bestie, but bestie to what extent? Are you people honest to each other? Do you respect each other? Or it is just about confiding, in each other? So I feel the very simple elements of friendship should be respect, or mutual respect, if I should put it in a proper way. All right. So, do you have any vivid experiences of before marriage? We'll come to marriage, but any kind of experience that? Okay, let me ask this. I should put it this way rather. So, why me?
Why did I? I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Why you?
Yes.
The one you were talking about when you were recounting that incident where you talked about us focusing on building each other.
Yeah.
A thought came into my mind. I was like, ladies, when you come across a man who talks about building himself, becoming better for you, know that is a catch to keep.
Okay, so
That
I'm
is
a catch.
Oh yeah, you are a catch.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So, what advice would I give young people aspiring to marriage?
Yeah.
Build a friendship, like we've said. And then there's this thing I keep telling people I have such conversations with, that it is very, very important that you don't sweep things under the carpet.
Yeah.
I realized that a lot of the times, because of our desire to get married,
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't say everyone, but some young people, we've all been there. I think the focus is, I'm off the market, I'm
Yeah.
hitched.
Yeah.
That is the focus. But then you realize all too soon that marriage is not just about that one day
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
It is bigger and the journey is long.
Yeah.
And so you need to address a lot of issues before you get married. Some people think that marriage heals bad behavior. It doesn't.
No.
It magnifies it.
If you're a womanizer, it just magnifies.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So don't think that, oh, yeah, warrior, bibia obesesa.
So marriage is, it's not para.
No. It's not Panadol.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And so don't think that, oh, me worry no obesesa.
Yeah.
On sesa.
Yeah.
Okay. The character is there, the attitude is there.
Yeah.
When you get married, they feel like, now I have the license. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So now I can do what I please. No. And so we need to deal with issues as they come before we get married.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of the whole dating and courtship period.
Yeah.
Now, as you are dating, I also tell my young people that the friendship in dating is very important. It helps you relax around each other.
Yes.
And when you are relaxed around each other, you get to see the person for who they really are.
Exactly.
And see, it's not like Kojo is coming to visit. I'm waiting for Kojo to come. So anytime Kojo sees me, he sees me as a perfect wife material, 10,000 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, Kojo doesn't see me in my natural environment. He doesn't see me relating to my siblings in the natural way. So he doesn't really know me for who I am. What he sees is what I want him to see.
Okay.
But then when you understand and then start from a friendship point of view, like the two of us, you know, my husband knew me for who I was.
Yeah.
He knew my temper tantrums here and there. He knew the things that got me angry. He knew the things that got me excited. He knew the things that got me sad. And I knew him as well. It was both ways.
Yeah.
And so he knew exactly what he was getting himself into.
Yeah.
And I knew what exactly I was getting myself into as well. And so that is what I am prescribing. It has worked for me. We are in no way saying that we are the marriage gurus. No. This is a disclaimer.
Yeah.
We are not marriage gurus. We are two, like you said, two imperfect people who are just learning
the ropes,
trying to get it right.
Okay.
But this is what has worked for us.
Okay.
And so I'm sharing it. It might work for you. You might customize it.
Yeah.
And then see how best it can work for you.
So as you mentioned, customization, I think it's very important. It's something I post a lot about this on social media, about customizing your marriage, about making your marriage work the way you want it to work. So yes, there are fundamental things like friendship that we mentioned, and a host of other virtues both people in a marriage have to have, or both prospective married people would want to have. However, what is working for us may not necessarily work for other people. So we have mentors, we have people we look up to. However, we don't do exactly what they do. They have different background. They have different experiences and all of that. So the way they would even hug, there's the number of time they hug, the number of time they kiss, whatever would be different from how we do ours. So make it work for both of you. Now, the next thing I would like to ask, from your perspective, the God factor, how did it work, or did it have any effect on our relationship from your perspective? After that, I will share mine as well.
It was a huge factor.
Okay.
It was a huge factor because a man, since I'm a woman, I'll talk about a man who fears God, who loves God with his heart, has the countenance of God in his image.
Mm-hmm.
And he seeks to please God in the way he speaks, in the way he treats his fellow men, in the way he serves, and all of that. And this is a very important recipe for me in your search for an eternal companion, because we look at it in this form as a triangle. We have the man and the woman at the base, and at the apex we have God. There. What this means is that if the man is looking up to God, the woman is also looking up to God. It makes your relationship with each other a bit more easy. I'm not saying it's going to come without challenges, but then because we are all looking up to God to live, we are going to go when we encounter problems, when we are trying to find solutions to our challenges. We both look up to God. We go according to what God has prescribed, what God has counseled. And so we have, because we respect God, we respect each other, because we know that we are both made in the image of God.
Exactly.
And we know that service to man is service to God. So that is how it works. So you can't take out the God factor and then think that you are going to have a happy, successful marriage or relationship.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that we've discussed, a lot, but there are two fundamental things we've discussed so far: the God factor and keeping friendship in marriage. It is very, very important and very crucial. Now, from my perspective, the God factor, from my perspective, now it's something just like you said. You basically, said everything. The only thing I would like to, add is, it is very crucial, especially in our day where there are so many distractions. There are so many inviting temptations and all of that. It will not be because I'm the most perfect person, or no, it doesn't have anything to do with that, or you are the most perfect person or anything. What I feel has helped us, just like you said, if we have any challenge, we know the source to which we have to go. And I have been so, I think most of my happy moments have been when I see you serve in the church, when I see you tell us that we have to, maybe we have to read our scriptures, we have to do our family home, we have to do these things. These are moments I cherish so much. And I'm sure I've said that to you, but I want to say that to you again.
Repeat.
So they are moments I cherish so much when you do that. So these things get me comforted that I have someone that I'm walking this life with, and we both have the same focus. Now, as she rightly said, this is not to say we haven't had our own fair of challenges, our own fair of problems and all of that. I think as we move on to marriage now, we'll share some experiences that we had, especially from the beginning of our marriage. Now, let me start from, sharing those experiences. So we married in July 2015, and then in August, I had to move to Accra. So I just spent 1 month, about 4 weeks, with my wife in Takrady. Then I had to move to, Accra to, seek greener pastures. Now, when I came to Accra, I think I spent about 4 or 5 years in Accra before my family joined me in Accra. Now, it wasn't an easy moment. I had lost my job then. Just when we were about to marry, I had lost my job, and then I had to go find a greener pasture. And you know how our country is. Even wherever you are, you're about to marry and you lose your job. It's difficult. And how much more Ghana? Now, I came to Accra. I found a job. Though I was it was employment, but I was very underemployed. Now, and a child, we got pregnant. I was about to say she got pregnant. We got pregnant, and then now a child is coming in, a lot of other responsibilities. Now, this period was very tough. It was one big test of our relationship, especially just at the beginning of our marriage. When finances, and it's, at this point, let me say this. I have learned before marriage and during marriage that finance is one major issue that is affecting a lot of marriages. And now we hit this rock. Now, from my perspective, as a husband, as a man, it wasn't easy at all. Being in Accra, trying to make things work and all of that. And it was something I remember during those periods. I was already writing letters to our unborn child. I was sending emails. I had created an email for our unborn child, sending him emails about the situation now and that it will be better. I mean, I don't know when, but it will be better. And I think anytime I called you, you had a lot of encouraging words to tell me. And this, I feel, is one thing that had helped us throughout our marriages. And it is something we talk about a lot. Even, recently we talk a lot about the experiences back then. So I feel as married couples, if we go back, sometimes how we started, sometimes when we are experiencing challenges now, we feel, okay, we feel the world has ended. But when we look back at the experiences that we've gone through and how we've been able to build upon that, we should be able to, in quote, celebrate ourselves to know that, okay, see, it is not easy now, but it is way better than, the way it has been. So from your perspective, how did this financial constraints affect us or affect you? Yeah.
I think that's the first time we are talking about it this way.
Yeah, about it this way, yes.
That's the very first time. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
I'm a young bride, freshly married, and you would have all the Cinderella happily ever after notions in your head, one way or the other, thinking that, I'm going to get married to my sweetheart, and it's all going to be sweet and sweet moments. At the back of your head, you know that there will be challenges, but then everybody wishes for a bed of roses.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone who wakes up in the morning and prays for a bed of thorns. Okay, we know it comes with it.
Yeah.
But then everybody wants it nice and easy, smooth sailing. But then that was not the reality. Mm-hmm. The reality was that we had been faced with a very tough challenge. Now, one of the things that kept me going, one of the things that kept my hopes up, one of the things that made me decide firmly that I'm sticking with this man through thick and thin.
Oh, why? There was a thought of...
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. I am sticking with him throughout all of this is the fact that I know who he is. Yeah. I know his capabilities. Mm-hmm. I know his dreams. Mm-hmm. And I know what he saw in me. I know how he cherished me, how he valued me. And so I knew that if I throw my weight behind this man, knowing the God we serve, things would get better. And at this point, I want to say that my big sister kept telling me that, look, this is life. Yeah. Stick with it. She told me, in these words, she told me that, sometimes it is better you face the hardships early on and then enjoy later on. When it comes like that, you learn how to stick with each other and fight it out. Yeah. And so I knew the man I was married to. I knew his capabilities. I knew he worked hard. He was going to work hard. I knew he wasn't just loafing around. Yeah. And so the faith I had was that things don't stay the same forever. Mm-hmm. Things get better.
Okay. All right.
I knew that it was going to get better.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful, session of this particular very first episode, and there are things I'm hearing them for the first time, and it's wonderful. Hearing them from the horse's own mouth. To talk about our experiences. From the very beginning of our marriages. So either there's something we are learning here today. There's the fact that let's build very good friendships. Before we marry, we have to make sure the underlying factors in our relationships are God first and friendship. And friendship, when you are good friends with anyone, you respect the person, you put the person's needs first and all of that. And then we've shared our experiences that, when things get tough, you don't bounce. That shouldn't be what I mean, you do things. I mean, nowadays it's sometimes quite difficult. Immediately things get tough, we want to just give up. But at least from our own small experiences, we are saying that hey, stick together when things get tough. And this is just financial. It could be any other thing. It could be any other thing. So
And
yeah,
there's one thing I also want to say.
yeah,
This we keep telling each other that we've had challenges,
yeah.
but that may not be the biggest challenge
Yes,
we
yes,
face yet.
yes.
We know that there
There'll
are
be
bigger
other-
things ahead.
Exactly.
And so that is not the biggest challenge we face. Well, we
yeah.
are only 9
Yeah,
years in
yeah,
marriage. We
yeah.
have a long
Very,
way,
very young.
very long way to go.
Yeah.
What we do is that based on what we've experienced, the challenges, how we went about it, we are equipping ourselves
Yeah.
for the bigger storms
Yeah.
as they come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just recently, I was talking to one elder of our church, and we were discussing. I mean, this thing that anytime God, I mean, wherever God is, that is exactly where the devil is. Wherever, I mean, when the devil sees you are trying so hard to live by, I mean, God's precept, that is when he also tries to spring up anything. So just like you said rightly, we know there are a lot of other challenges. I mean, 9 years is quite young in marriage.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I remember when we were 2 years in marriage, I mean, we were like, okay, we are trying and all of that. 9 years, we still feel we are very, very young. There are people doing 30, 50, I mean, and all of that in their marriages. But we feel we are still very young. And I feel, I mean, it is not about pretending that, oh, we haven't had a lot of experience, but it is a way to keep us grounded. I feel, and I've said this before a lot of times on social media, but that marriage is not necessarily in the years. You could marry 20 years and, I mean, be suffering for 20 years. Okay, so it's really not in the number of years. It is what have you done? What is entailed in those, I mean, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And what is entailed doesn't necessarily mean good things. It means how have you reacted towards the challenges we face. So now we have 2 children. We have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old son and 8-year-old son.
She'll hear this.
8-year-old son. I mean, he was 8 recently, and then a 5-year-old daughter. Now, how have we, I mean, managed, okay, to still connect as husband and wife and be able to deal with these 2, I'll choose my words carefully because, I mean, when they see this, yeah. So these 2 beautiful and very obedient children. Yeah. I mean, they will give us all the trouble and all of that, but we love them so much. So how, from your perspective again, I mean, how have we still been able to maintain the love that we share, the bond that we share, and still be able to manage a home and build? I mean, we'll talk about the businesses. I mean, build a business as well from your own perspective.
Well, dear husband, you are the best person to testify that it hasn't been easy, especially with the coming of these beautiful, obedient children.
Yeah.
It hasn't always been easy. But if there is one thing that has kept us going, is the respect we have for each other.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have a goal in mind. And the goal is that you are stuck with me, I'm stuck with you.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And if we are in for the long haul,
Yeah.
we had better make it easy for both each other.
Exactly.
So you remember very well. I think I can't be very detailed here.
Okay.
But there was a point after childbirth,
Yeah.
things were a bit,
Yeah.
meh.
Flat.
Yeah. And every lady out there who has ever had a baby would agree with me that
A lot of changes.
a lot of changes
Yeah.
in your body,
Yeah.
a lot of, mentally, physically, there are a lot of changes there. I have had conversations with other people where during this transition, not all men are able to understand what the woman goes through. I have been blessed, abundantly blessed, by a man who understood me, who cared enough to try to understand what I was going to. Do you know that man?
Yeah.
You have any idea? You know him? Oh, okay. That's good for you. You can take a few notes from him. Yeah. You see, he tried as much as, I mean, he's not a woman.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't understand exactly how it feels, but he tried to empathize.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I realized that he's the most selfless man I have come across. And so he had patience. That is what I'll say. He had patience to work with me and get to a point where I was capable of, I got back to my usual self. And then when with a child, the pull on you as a woman is not easy.
Yeah. And the fact that you were alone in Takoradi, I mean, you were with your mom, but I mean, I was not around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, your attention is like constantly on that little human who depends on you for everything. Yeah. In that moment or in that period, if you're not careful, you might lose a part of you. That is very important to marriage as well. So that is where I had that husband who was there, not physically, but then he was able to, hold my hand throughout this process. He understood that the dynamics are changing. The dynamics are different. Yeah. When we were a young couple without, newly married, without any children, things were different. Yeah. You know how they were. Yeah. But then he understood that we are not going to be that young couple blissfully in love forever. Yeah. It will change. With children in there, our demands are different. Yeah. Everything is different. So we learned, the word is adjust. Yeah. We adjusted to that period. So there was a period when things, like I said, things were a bit rocky here and there, but we tried to understand each other. Here, I'll talk about the fact that it taught me that when we talk about intimacy in marriage, it is not just the physical. Yeah. It is not just the physical. It goes way beyond.
Mentally, emotionally.
Intimacy is way beyond that. Like you're saying, it's emotional, mental, and all of that. There is still that connection. Yeah. You still feel that love from that person. Yes. And so we got to a point where things became smooth again. Yeah. Then Eresi appeared. And then there was a different kind of dynamics altogether. Now it's not just one person. Yeah. Two people are pulling you left and right. Yeah. But just like we managed when Jason came, we managed with Eresi as well. Yeah. And so we're able to lean on our past experiences with Jason. And then we did that. And there's something that my husband does a lot. From time to time, we'll sit like we are sitting, and then we'll talk about connection. Yeah. We'll do an introspection. He'll ask you, so how do you think we are doing in this department? How do you think, what can we do better? Yeah. We talk about these things. And so when that happens, personally, I'm trying to psych myself that, okay, probably I'm not doing so well here. I need to back up here. He also does the same thing. And then we move on. So we are also, again, at a very wonderful phase. Okay. And so basically, I've walked everybody through the phases that we've gone through. So it's communication, empathy, selflessness. That helps us navigate those rough patches when children come in.
Thank you so much, my dear wife. Now, if there is something I just would want to add to all that you said, I feel consciousness in all these departments is very, very important. Being conscious about being empathetic, being conscious about being selfless. And it goes both ways. That's the beauty. It doesn't have to just be me. It doesn't have to just be her. It has to be from, two partners. It becomes very difficult when, the other partner is becoming so selfless, then the other partner is doing another thing altogether. It becomes so difficult. Now, the aspect I would like to, add is as the children are now, we have 5, we have 8. Now, when we wake up, we say a lot of stop. don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And it will get you in a certain mood. Sometimes you wake up very nice, but the children will set you in a very different mood altogether. Yes. But if there's something I've realized, it is about being very conscious about how you even want your mood to be, how you would want to, be able to relate with the partner that you have. Okay, the children are doing that, the children are doing this, but how my wife, my husband, how am I treating them? I'm in this kind of mood, but should I try to be better to be able to, relate with them and all of that? And it's something I think we are trying in our own, small way to do, being conscious about the partners that we have. Children would, apart from the stop and all of that, there are a lot of demands. They are going to school fees. There's, every parent or couple, who have kids around experience this. However, if there is any way we have tried, and we would want to learn from other people too, that if there is any way we have tried to, overcome some of these things, it is consciously choosing ourselves. Because we have, we are running a business on our own, and I keep telling you that sometimes I feel we are fortunate because when you are running your own businesses, we are not doing 8 to 5. You are not doing 8 to 5, so it becomes a bit easy. Okay, sometimes I actually pity or empathize with people who have to do 8 to 5, both husband and wife. It's not easy having to pick your children. You are both tired and all of that. But when the children
add homework,
exactly. So, but we have that leisure to be able to. Our home is our office, so it becomes easy to turn around. Even if we are working, it becomes a bit easy to turn around. However, it doesn't mean. We can't have all couples being entrepreneurs. So, whichever way, the lessons are the things we've already talked about. Being conscious. That is why we are saying customize your marriage, because you can't be the same way we are now, especially when both of you are doing 8 to 5. But we can still learn from the basic things. Being conscious about it. Okay, so you've done Monday to Friday work. Saturday, can you choose your partner to spend some kind of time with, or the whole family to spend some time with that particular family. So there are times I have work to do. I'm on my laptop. I have to do something, but my wife would draw my mind. Okay, so maybe there's that I have to close the laptop. I have to put the phone aside to give attention to. I think these are the things that are helping us, and it's I don't know the word to use. If it's really wonderful, though we have these discussions most of the time, but it's really wonderful having this discussion on a podcast, having a camera on us, talking about this these experiences. And I've enjoyed so much this session. From day one to almost 9 years in July, I think we've done the best we could, all we can. And I know that maybe in the next 200 years, we will still have a lot to learn. We still have a lot to learn. When we look up to our big brothers and sisters and the wonderful things they are doing, it's not perfect, but they are trying their best to, make their marriages work. At this point, I just would like to maybe sound a word of caution that we are not saying, as we are saying, we are stuck together. It is not saying if I were abusing her or if she was abusing me, I'm not sure she would want to throw, every weight, beside me or behind me. So let's treat our partners well. It is something I believe so much in. When we treat our partners well, sometimes it becomes natural, or many a times. Unfortunately, there are times people do all of that and still they are not, they don't receive the love they have to receive. But many a times, when both partners are trying to, it makes life a bit easy, because life is already difficult. It's already difficult. So, if you are both trying your best to make it work, there will be sad times. There have been times I've cried. She's cried. When she was away in Takrady, there have been times we're both together. We are struggling. Things are not working out. How do we do this? We both cried. unto the Lord. I mean, to help us. And so, yes, especially to prospective married couples, these times would happen. These things would happen every time. They will come as many, and sometimes you ask yourself, why is it happening to me so many times? You wouldn't know. We've spent some minute here, but you wouldn't know the number of times, or we can't even recollect every time we've had bad experiences. Yeah. However, the good thing that we are learning is to react to bad things positively, to choose to react to bad things positively. Any other marriage, tips, advice you want to give to our prospective married couples?
Love God.
Okay.
Choose your spouse every day. Choose to love him or her every day. It should be a daily choice.
Yeah.
Because at the altar, when you say I do, for better, for worse, when you step away from the altar, away from the church, after the reception, finish dancing and everything, you realize that it is a daily choice that you make.
Did we do a zone too?
You know what? I can't even remember
Forgotten the song, but we
see?
use antimatter to enter.
Yes,
that is
yes,
EL,
yes,
from EL.
Yes.
But what we dance to is what I've forgotten.
And it's telling us something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus too much
exactly.
on that event.
On that day, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun and all that, but then the hard work comes after all of that.
Exactly.
And after everything is said and done, you continue to choose your partner each and every day. Because there are days you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like looking at your partner.
Yeah.
But in those moments, that is when you remember where you've come from, why you are in this together, and choose that person all over again.
Yeah.
And so one of our prophets of the church, our past president, said that.
Which church is that?
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
He said that choose your love your choice. Yeah. It is something you do on a daily basis. Yeah. Because you go at this thing called marriage every day. Every day you wake up, it is a new beginning for you, sort of, so to speak. We are trying this again. Yeah. We are doing better. Let's do it again. We are doing it again. Yeah. So you choose that person all over. So this is what I want to tell everyone. Keep in mind that after you've made the marriage vows, know that doesn't just end there. Yeah. You choose the person every day. And you said something. We should know that it is a 50-50 kind of thing.
When you take a skill,
100, yes. Yeah. It's 100. You give your all, I give my all. In fact, it's very good you've raised that because of what I'm going to say. Yeah. That when you take a skill, as soon as we are doing the 100, as soon as I give more than that, we are tipping the scale. Yeah. If I reduce what I'm giving, it is still tipping it in a way. Yeah. So to keep it in balance, you give what you get. Yeah. Yeah. We are giving it at the same time, we are taking at the same time. So nobody feels cheated. Yeah. Nobody feels worn out. Yeah. Because believe you me, in a marriage where all these things that we talk about, all these things that we are advised on when we are getting married, during the traditional marriage and everything, if you take all of that and then you decide to put it into practice and you realize that I'm the only one who is actually taking that counsel seriously, it gets to a point you are worn out. You are beaten down mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah. And you give up so much, you don't feel like giving again. Yeah. And so you are stuck. Yeah. Things become still. Yeah. And from still, it hits the rocks. Yeah. And that's the end. Yeah. So let's learn. And there's this thing, don't wait to, it's like, that's why I said we are all given, we are all receiving. Yeah. You don't wait, I want to see what my husband is giving me before I give. Yeah. Okay, sometimes going back to the scriptures, sometimes we believe that, yes, a woman must be submissive to the husband. So husband is waiting. I'm waiting to see your submission before I show you the love that Christ had for his church. Yeah. No, let's do it at the same time. We meet each other halfway. And it's more fulfilling that way. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The only thing I would like to add before, we round up is, so when I mentioned the 100, there were a lot of thoughts running through my mind. That, sometimes people go like, so this person's 100 might not be my 100. That is true. So I have my weaknesses. You have your weaknesses. I have my strength. You have your strength. Your strength may not be my strength. My strength may not be your strength. Now, what I get to see is my wife is giving her all. I can see it, that she's giving her all. I may be doing something, or let me put it the other way rather. I may be giving my 100%. She would also be giving 100%. But from outside, when you look at us, you feel, oh, your wife or this guy's wife does so much. Now, what we have to concentrate on as married couples within our marriages, do you know the strength of your wife? Do you know the strength of your, husband? Do you know their weakness? That she know your weaknesses? When you get to know that, you get to know that, okay, irrespective of this person's weaknesses, this person is actually improving upon his weakness or upon her weaknesses. So 100 here means it's more like a percentage. Give everything that you have. Don't wait, just like she said. Don't wait till, she doesn't have to wait till I love her to submit it. It goes, we love each other. And I've said this so many times on social media platforms that, there's been a lot of conversation about submission, love, and all of that. It's a huge debate, we know, on social media. But I've said this many times that from my perspective, she's talked about hers. From my perspective, any Christian watching this would have to know this, that Christ, just like she said rightly, Christ, when that scripture was written, it was written in order. Love her, and the woman was instructed to, love her as Christ loved the church. And we all know Christ died for the church. So are we willing to
start dying?
Yeah. So yes, it might not be literal, but that is a lot of responsibilities on us as men. But I've said it countless times. When we do this, many times, there are exceptions. We are not talking about the exceptions. Many times it becomes easy. You don't have to call for submission. It comes naturally. Yeah. Naturally. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have had a very fulfilling conversation with my very dear wife. And I just would want to round up by saying friendship, God first, friendship, and very important, respect, choosing to be very conscious in your marriage, or choosing to create the marriage that you want. And also, make the choice and love the choice that you made. Make it a conscious, especially nowadays. It is not easy. It is not, we don't want to, make the impression that it is easy. It is not easy at all. No marriage is easy, but you just have to put a lot of work. And I've said this also, that just like the effort we put into making our businesses succeed, I think we put a lot of effort in making our businesses, but it's like we don't want to put the same effort in the marriage. Yeah. So I think the same energy that we put in our businesses to succeed. When we are partnering with people and all of that, we want to make sure this business, is there. The same plans we have to basically have. If you are writing your business plans, the same way you have to write your marriage plans. Okay, the ways you want to, yeah. And just like you said, it's something we try to do. Anytime it comes up, we set exactly like this. And I think, Sis is just exactly like this. So we try to more like analyze ourselves. Okay, hey, are we doing well? And it's been, I would say it's been a wonderful journey for us. I believe this has been a wonderful, episode. Like, share, comment on this particular episode. We want to hear from you. We want to learn from you. Now join us for our next episode next week. Please post your questions and your concerns in the comment section. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Any concern you have, we want to share from our own experiences on the questions and concerns you put out there. We may not be experts in marriage, or we are not experts in marriage, but we share how we've been able to, overcome some of these challenges. Thank you.